And when the violence broke out and really, erupted, where were you?
That time we were running a project in a place called Bugesera in southern region of Kigali, towards the border of Burundi. So that day I went there. I was working on the field. Then in the evening, driving back to the capital city where I live, it is not far. It is about 70 miles. So I arrived late in the evening, not very late, around 8 o'clock. Then I think because I like watching football, I wanted to go and watch one of UEFA's football games. But then I felt tired, so I went home. And I arrived home around 8:30. Had a shower, dinner, then went to bed early. Then in the morning I had a habit to listen to the news. I had the radio near my bed, so around 5 o'clock in the morning I woke up to pray. Then I opened the radio. The first thing I had some military songs and breaking news, saying the plane carrying the former president was brought down, and also some members of the government were inside. Also the president of Burundi also was in the plane. So I got scared. I just told my wife, I said, because I knew at that point something bad will happen. Then I told my wife, I said, it's going to be a problem, because listen to the radio what happened. And from that time I could hear some heavy gun, because I think there were heavy gunshot around in Kigali. I opened my door because we lived in a place called Nyamirambo, so there were some fight around what they call where the parliament. They were shelling the parliament, and they really have some heavy shelling. So yeah, I managed to get some necessity home. Then waited. I was just listening to the news, to different radios, international radios like Radio France International or Deutsche Welle. So because there were a lot of news around the crash of the president plane. So a lot of things were going on, and everyone was scared, because as hours were going, the shooting was intense. So then we understood the things really are getting nasty. I stayed home until 12 o'clock, when I was listening to the radio Deutsche Welle. Then we had a military camp, a temporary military camp that was moved in one of the on the uphill over where we lived. So we saw some militaries coming down into the place where we lived, coming from the camp. In one place they called Mount Kigali, it is Mount Kigali Mountain. So they were coming and shooting in the air, and shooting, just people were getting scared, and everyone started running. So I grouped everyone in my family, Actually, it was myself, my wife, and my sister-in-law, our maid, and and my daughter. So I closed the house, and then everyone ran. We ran together. We went to one of the in the neighborhood. There was a Red Cross camp. That's where we went. So the militia came and surrounded the compound. It had two gates. One of the gates was occupied by militaries. The second gate on the left side, that's where the militia came from. So they surrounded the compound, and they were armed with some guns and machetes and iron bars, and so we managed to collect enough. We had the stones and the iron bars and the wood stick and nothing else to defend ourselves. So also they had grenade as well. So when they surrounded our camp, they started shouting, "Okay, put everything down. Put everything down, we're coming to kill you." Then we told everyone, "No, defend yourself however you can." So they surrounded the compound. Then we were lucky. The ones on the right side, when the one from the left side, they were forcing into the gate. The one behind, the militia from the other side, threw a grenade into the camp. So luckily, it missed that, and it fell near the gate where the militia were. And some were wounded, and they started shouting, "Oh, they are armed, let's run." That's how they ran away. And we really threw some stones to them because they didn't manage to get inside that time. And when those ones from the right side had that, we were throwing stones, and we didn't put our tools down. So they threw a grenade. That grenade went and they blasted in their place. So it wounded and killed some of them. Then they started running. They say, "Okay, they are armed.